segment we're going to have this morning will be interesting because it's something that even me and Oluchi, when we were planning, we started arguing about. So it's something that people are interested to talk about, and we want to provide a balanced view to it. And that is the role of the church in the members' welfare. Yes. Or they call the Ndinege Church. What would the church do to help their welfare?
You know, over the week there was a lot of arguments. Pastor Chris Oyakilome stepped. I think he started the argument.
Yeah.
Then Pastor Lazarus joined. Timi Dakolo finished them from his own commercial angle, and then we even had Nathaniel Bassi. It's been a lot of questions. The church saying, because God gave you these gifts, when we church call you to give it back to us, give it to us free. And then these other people saying, we cannot give you free when you pastor, they collect church money. Do you really care how I feed? Have you ever asked how the person playing the piano in church is feeding? That woman that comes to church every day, cleans the church. Have you ever wondered how she pays her children's school fees if she's always in church cleaning? How does she? So there are a lot of questions. And
I was also saying, that another dimension. That's what I want to, because
let me enlighten so that we understand what you are.
Another dimension is also,
there are different dimensions of church welfare.
That will bring you in. Then I'll go back to David. Our guest this morning is somebody that when it comes to church matters, spiritual matters, but when it comes to, we like to call him on board because he's not somebody that just reads the Bible because of the sake of the Bible. He's somebody that can make you relate to the
practicality,
practicality. So we have Pastor Dozie Nwoyocha. He is our guest this morning. Pastor.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Thank you.
David, on to the
Yes, I have up here also immediately because Lucy has laid the foundation. We're not just, Lucy set an example with ministers in church, music ministers, people offering services in different angles, but beyond them. In fact, let me even ask that question immediately. What's the role of the church in members' welfare? Because I've had some friends who say, I left the church because the church that I've been servicing didn't even care what I was going through. Some people will say, I got sick, and the moment I got sick, I discovered I didn't have a family. And the church have been active, didn't come. Some will say, my dad died and they couldn't even join me to the village to do the burial. Or where the list clearance. And I would not Orthodox churches here appear very well. Where the list clearance, I say, so this is some of the languages that we hear usually. I want you to provide a balanced view for us.
You see, this time will not be enough to explain a lot of
will not.
things, but I will just want to give you some little parts. You see, church has a very vital role to play. Not like this generation always criticize church did not do industry, church did not do road. It's not, the government has its own work to do. But church specifically has a lot of spiritual and physical welfare to be able to cater to the members. But do you know one thing is that people come to church for what they will gain and not for what they will give. Bible says, freely you have received, freely you shall give. And the same Bible told us, he said, in Matthew 6:33, you know what I mean? Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all the other things shall be followed. Unfortunately, people come to church for what they will receive, for what they will gain. And that is why the moment they didn't see it, they get offended. And that is why you see, find out most of the times, church begin to restrain themselves because people will come, they now take, they don't give out. Those people, those ministers, you see that the church, they try to, church to be able to cater for themselves completely, forgotten that church pray them out from their bondage, from their problem into that realm. When are they giving to give to church now?
Second collection.
And that is the answer everybody will give. But they give offering every Sunday.
It is not giving. Offering is for yourself. Let me tell you. You see, sometimes they say that church, the money that comes, I don't know, there are fake ones. There are people who are not sincere. But offering you give to church, tithe you pay to church, seed you make to church is for your own benefit.
Spiritual
church.
benefits or physical benefits?
Both physical, both spiritual. Because when you are building, just like somebody tells you to fast, you don't want to fast. You're expecting someone to fast for you. Is it not for your own benefit? Somebody tells you to pray and you didn't pray. You're expecting someone to pray for you. It's not for your own benefit. The things they told you to do, have you done them? You are doing it because you are expecting. Even Jesus Christ told them, he said, you people are following me not because of the word I preach. You are following because of the food you eat. Jesus came to a point when they were hungry. Philip came to them and said, these people will faint to you. And the place.
But he still fed them.
He fed them. That's what I'm saying. But yet, why they were following them and why they are following them was because people want a free shop.
Now, let me ask another follow-up question.
Okay.
There was a question I asked Lucy while we were planning this program.
Okay.
I said, for instance, you said, freely you receive,
freely you give.
Now, at the point of receiving, it is raw. But I've taken time over the years to go to my choir site. Maybe I'm a singer.
Okay.
And I've taken years to develop my voice, to get better in singing, to even
Paid
go
and all
to
those
8
things.
octave and everything. Gotten to the level where, even paid just to learn.
Okay.
And if I've been with some choir members who would deprive themselves of some food items just to perfect their singing voices.
Good.
And the church is saying...
Let me cut in. I know.
The church is saying...
Let me cut in. Because time. Let me cut in.
Yeah.
You see, these are the things people see. They don't see the other side of the other person.
Okay.
Now, do you know that there are some churches that pay highly to train their staff,
Okay.
to their instrumentalists,
Okay.
and train all the functions in the ministry or the church?
There are.
Many.
There are.
Now, the same pastor you see has his church board. The same pastor said there are many pastors, including me myself, doesn't take salary from the church.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Now, there are many, just like Oyedepo said something. He said, the books he has been writing, he has never taken a dime from it. 1 naira. He has
But he's rolling in private jets.
Do you know how the president came?
I'm just saying that's what the members
That
are
what I'm saying. That is what they see.
That's what
But they are
see.
forgotten there are some other things you cannot be explained to you.
Okay, sorry, sir. I think I need to cut in here because this is really getting very hot. So that let me get it. You're saying that if I, as a member, I bring my talents, everything to church, you get like every day. Let me say I'm a pianist. Every day there is a, what's it called? There is an event I'm playing for church. Churches, in fact, sometimes some pastors take these people wherever they are going to.
Exactly.
You invite this pastor, the pastor goes with his pianist and his crew. Now, this pastor is flying on private jets, which you say I don't know how it came about. It's okay, but I can barely feed. And this pastor has never cared to say, oh, Oluchi, you're always following me around. That means you don't really have any other source of income.
It depends on the individual, my dear.
So that's what I'm asking. In a case like this now, where I'm following this pastor around, he has fleets of cars, he even have bodyguards, he eats well.
I know some
I can
pastors
barely feed.
who
What
has,
is
who
the
has
role of
given
the church?
those people who have served well houses, cars,
Yeah, that's the point we're trying
so when you go
say.
to a wrong environment and they exploit you, you shouldn't use it to generate others.
No, sorry, David, no, sorry, David, calm down.
You don't need to
Calm your
generate
soul
others. Because do you know that the church...
No, sorry, sir. I think you didn't really allow me to land.
I know where you are going.
No, you
because I don't have much time to tell some people.
No,
Next thing now,
I
people will
have
now
time.
use, half information is very dangerous.
Okay, sorry, sir. It's not really where I was going
Okay.
to. My point is I follow this pastor around and he doesn't pay me and I barely...
But he gives allowances.
No,
There are
some don't give.
Some give. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
We're
It
not
depends
talking-
on the
That's why
individual.
we're looking at it critically. But now, what I'm asking now is, let me say you or this pastor I'm attached to.
Okay.
You get, I don't really, then another pastor that is your friend. Now say, wow, I like what you do for my friend's church. Come and perform for me. Am I supposed to quote a price? That's where my question is going to now.
Okay.
Because if you look at pastor, you know, like what most of these pastors are saying is when I call you to come and sing for my church, you're not supposed to quote a price. But then these ministers, I want to call them, and let me call them gospel artists. Let me not go minister because I don't really know who
So that they know who is who.
So now, what these gospel musicians are saying is, you can't. It wasn't even your church that built me. My church built me. now your church is inviting me.
Okay.
And then the pastor is saying, why will you quote 5 million? Tell me
Or
to
even
pay
quote
you
a
5
price.
million. Or even quote a price for a gift God
Okay,
gives
let me
you.
give you now. Let me
And
tell you.
said-
I know where you're going
Okay.
because you have been
You already
attacked with
know.
all these things.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pastors go to church, other church, they quote. The gospel artists you said also go to quote. It depends on individual. Before God and man, I have never gone to anywhere for any
quote a
man
price.
to quote a price.
But is it wrong?
Let me tell you, I've gone to family deliverances, I've gone to burial, I don't quote price.
I'm just, so we're not looking
Sometimes
at
I
you.
go to
We're
some,
looking
no,
at
I'm not.
what
I'm
is
giving you
you.
instance based on. Do you know why I'm telling you? People use one thing that happened to generalize the.
No, we're not generalizing.
Because
We're
they have not
asking-
gotten the experience of others.
No, sorry,
Okay.
sir. We're
No,
actually
I
asking
know,
what
I know.
is it supposed to be.
No,
so that
I will
there's
still come
somebody
back to you.
watching,
I'll
the
come back to
person
what you are
will
saying.
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll come back to what you are saying. Now, there are sometimes you go to an environment, you find out how the church is still building up. And they also, because of their lifestyle and trying to honor a man that came, they still gather up something. Someone like me, sometimes I push it back. I say, okay, thank you. I receive with thanks. I sow you back to your church because you want to help them. Now, let me tell you something based on what we are speaking. Bible let us to understand. It said, do not muzzle the horse that tread the corn.
Yeah.
You should not, anybody that, a laborer is worthy of his wage. Everybody understand that anybody that works needs to be given. But let me tell you, when it comes to the things of God, somebody like me, I'm always being careful. When I was attached to a church, before I established the one God called me to do,
Yeah.
one thing I always tell them, I said, the overseer has no business to come and monitor what I'm doing. I am doing it not because of him. I'm doing it because of God. And he cannot pay me. This is my understanding. And I do it to the best of my ability. So I don't care whether anything. In fact, I involve myself. I also invest my money. I don't want to mention names of things that I've
No,
done.
yes,
No,
I
okay,
understand
go
it.
on.
Now,
Clearly.
so it is on individual. Most of the time, this generation always want to be on the state of affluence and rather to brag. Let me tell you, it is not by the multitude of what you have that makes you a Christian. It is by the level of the relationship you have with God. And what you lose from here, Mr. A can be paid by Mr. B. And that is what people doesn't see. They want it now. And that's why you see all this fight. You see a member of a church is dragging money with a pastor. You see a pastor dragging money with the members.
Now, I want to add a follow-up question to
Yeah.
this, because I've been involved in church ministry.
Okay.
And
Make it snappy.
yes, why I want to ask this question is, you see a situation where I'm a song minister.
Okay.
Maybe I'm invited from here to Benin to come, and I say, don't give me anything. I'm coming to minister to the work of God and see to the glory of God.
It may be wrong somewhere. Let me tell you.
I'm-
It may be
I'm-
wrong.
yes,
You know why it may be wrong somewhere?
Yes.
Because you are not a charity. You are not running a charity organization. Your transportation from here. The issue is this. Somebody invited me in one state, Abia State. I want to come to do whatever I want to do free.
Yeah.
But
you cover
till
logistics.
the day before the day, I didn't see any
Logistics.
logistics.
They didn't even ask you,
Yes.
how are you going to come?
So I now call them and say, look, I see this thing is cancelled because you don't expect me after I've told you everything, I'm going to make it free. Just my logistics, you don't want to do it. The address and logistics becomes an issue. So I said, I don't want to come and so in addition, that one is not a sin. It's not a problem.
Okay.
Anybody that called you,
answered
anybody
another
that
question.
called you for any assignment must scatter whatever. Even Jesus Christ told them once, he said, when you go for so, did you lack anything?
Yeah.
In your movement, he said, anywhere you go, eat, drink, whatever they present to you, give to them. I mean, take. So anything given to you in the process of the movement, collect. It is except on your personal note that you don't want.
Yeah.
You understand that? So anybody that is telling, if a minister or whether a gospel or whoever is going for an assignment, please, the first thing is that settle is logistics.
Okay.
Then other payments, that one is negotiable. Depends
Now,
on the individual.
Finally, another one is, you mentioned that you've seen pastors who maybe finally bought houses for people working for them.
Definitely, there are many of them now.
But
They don't make enough.
in
Pay school fees for children.
Yes, in a
Scholarship.
situation where I work with you. Let me take for instance, there are pastors who do Sunday ministry. Mondays there are church service and everything. I'm working like a civil servant. Is it not proper that you place me on a salary and not allowance?
If you run almost the week, I advise you to pay them on payroll. Let them be the staff.
Okay, thank you.
Let them be staff. Because you can't do, let me tell you, I always tell my members, I said, look, even in service, I have days of service, and that days can never clash with whatever you are doing.
Okay.
If I want to take you beyond your activities, that means I will employ you to become a staff. So that you now become a full staff. Then that is where I will now take control of whatever about you. Yeah. Because if you disobey their timing or whatever, then you are default on the, what they call it.
Staff employment.
Yes, you understand. So these are some of the things. It's only that most times, some churches doesn't have structures. They don't have structures. It's a woman. So when they begin to do all those in there, and they want, some people are so individual, they are greed. They're trying to they exploit people to be able to amass themselves. So a lot of things happening. Let me tell you, church. Forget about, we are all human beings. People bounce to make mistake. Whether in a secular job, there are some staff, there are some employees, when they employ you, they will not pay you. 3 months, 2 months, 4 months, they have not paid you. They are still telling you to work. Don't worry. You don't worry until one day you get angry and resign.
God, Pastor.
You know, one thing I like about it is that you provide balanced views to issues, and I always enjoy it when you come here.
Pastor, you do a second mission.
Certainly, like Paul.
We're definitely doing a second missionary journey, non-negotiable. But I really like I feel a lot of the arguments online. We didn't really have much time.
It's already generation something else.
To all of them, the generation something else, the church also becoming something else in this generation.
That time I will discuss to you about this private jet people are complaining.
Oh my God!
Especially the issue of church structures. I think that place is very important that you mentioned it.
We'll definitely return back. But what I want to say is that I feel like people, if you know you're a Christian, I like judging the church by Christians, because this is you, this is what you believe in. Just know that some of the things that happen in church is more individual than spiritual. It happens even outside the church.
Yes.
So when you're judging things that a pastor do, sometimes you judge it with his human attributes and not the fact that, oh, why would God call somebody like this? God called Paul. God called Saul. God still called David. So what I'm trying to say is that we've heard it now. As the church, as a pastor, you have your part to play in the welfare of the members. And then as a member, you also have your part to play, your role in understanding the church and its position.
All right.
We want to thank our guests this morning. Don't forget. We want to thank our guest this morning, Pastor Dozie Moyocha. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Exactly. Thank you. I'm glad you have having me here.
All right. Now, let's take you over to our breakfast news studio for breakfast news at 8.